お待たせいたしました。続きまして、セキュリティトークンを通した RWA トークン化について議論するパネルセッションをお送りいたします。Now, let's move on to the next session. The institutional future of RWA tokenization through security tokens. ご登壇者の皆様をご紹介いたします。SMBC 日興証券株式会社日興オープンイノベーションラボ磯野大輔様、セキュリタイズジャパン小林英二様、セキュアードファイナンス菊池正様、モデレーターはブロックチェーン提唱者として活動されているエリ石山様です。Joining us today are Taisuke Isono from SMBC Nikko Securities, Nikko Open Innovation Lab. Eiji Kobayashi from Securitize Japan. Masa Kikuchi from Securities Finance. And for our moderator, Eri Ishiyama, blockchain advocate. Please give a warm round of applause. それではお願いいたします。
How are we doing? Yes, okay. I have with me on stage some amazing talent representing a sector that is changing the world. I will give the pleasure to let each and every one of them introduce themselves. We're going to have some amazing questions. This is real-world assets and tokenization. So please, let's start to my right. Give us a little bit about who you are and what your product is all about.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Masa Kikuchi. I'm a founder of Secure Finance. At Secure Finance, we are building financial infrastructure, especially fixed income, and migrating the traditional financial real-world assets and putting the stablecoin together, then actually drive the economy by making the real-world assets utilized as a collateral to make the lending and borrowing possible. And also, my personal background is over 70 years of interest rates, FX derivative structuring. And what we really want to build is the like an on-chain yield curve for stablecoins. So yeah, I'm happy to join this discussion today. Thank you.
Hi. Eiji Kobayashi from Securitize. Securitize is the largest tokenization provider globally. We also operate quite actively in Japan, supported by many large institutions and corporates like SMTB, Sony Bank, Marui, Don Quixote, and many other companies as well. Also in the US, we have started fund with BlackRock, Biddle, just about 2 years ago, which has really exploded the market. Myself, I have a background pretty much in TradFi. Started my career in investment banking in Merrill Lynch in New York. So I have some US background as well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Taisuke Isono. I'm from SMBC Nikko Securities, kind of standard kind of TradFi company. So unfortunately, maybe as you may know, we are regulated by very heavy law, so we don't have actual product on public chain right now. But we have a vast clients in Japan, and also they have a huge amount of traditional financial assets. So my interest is very much on how to bring on-chain liquidity to those kind of TradFi assets. So yeah, I'm very glad to have a discussion with these two guys. They have a very, effective use cases in global space in that, kind of topics. So yeah, I'm pleased to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have this time in our lives where these assets, these real world assets, are coming on chain. And you can see that this bridge between the traditional world and the blockchain world are really strong in this particular use case. And it's very exciting to have the caliber of talent, because you're going to learn a lot about what's going on with the real world assets and the use of security tokens. So I want to ask each one of them, and Isono-san, I'm going to start with you, okay? We're going to come down. I want to know, there's a lot of exciting things, but what most excites you about this space and how it is going to transform this real world asset into a security token?
Okay, thank you. Yes, so I said we are a traditional financial institution, but I think traditional doesn't matter, because we are financial institution that want to facilitate the entire market work well. And something, could increase the efficiency of entire market should be welcome from from our side. And what we want to think is how to contribute to that kind of ecosystem. And now the trend of tokenizing something and welcome them onto the financial market smoothly could be a very large factor of the tokenization and an on-chain trend. So we are quite interested about that kind of trend, and also we want to make some scheme collaborating with players in DeFi sector and also on-chain sector to make some effective use cases on there.
Okay. Securitize is really alive and well. You were early in this space, actually, very early. And so I'm curious, what is exciting you right now with your momentum that you have already really seized? What's going on in your space?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, we've been around in the tokenization sector like 7 years already. But most exciting thing actually happened like 2 years ago when we kicked off BIDO, as I mentioned. It's exactly like March, last 2 years ago. It's a tokenized treasuries, and pre-BIDO and right now, the tokenized treasuries actually expanded in 14 times before and after. So it was actually a very successful product. The first kicker was that the guys, basically on-chain people, wanted to have something with interesting bearing stuff. So that was fine. But later, people realized that that can be used as collateral, and that can be used as a sort of base for DeFi as well. So it's not just a tokenized treasury or many money market funds, but it's more like can be used as a strategic thing. Along with that, we have developed various solutions with Aave Horizon and Eura for lending protocol, and also Uniswap for BIDO secondary market liquidity. So these things being helped. In fact, many people realize that using DeFi is going to give them a much higher yield and instantly and more easily than the TradFi space. So that really make the TradFi players like BlackRock, Apollo, Hamilton Lane, all these major players coming into the market. So tokenization market is not just the on-chain people stuff right now. What's really most exciting to me is that it's really pulling the TradFi population and players into the market now. It's happening. And it's going to change the entire sort of spectrum of the market and include more inclusive of the everyone. So that's happening. And maybe a few years later, people realize that this is right now is a turning point.
Yeah, what excites me most is the programmability. So yeah, currently the traditional finance space, the the traditional asset is just a static record of ownership, which is very hard to move. It takes time, for the verification. A lot of people get involved, and now we are moving this and abstract away and then bring this on chain, and everyone's sharing the same ledger, and then adding a programmability is, I think, open up a huge potential of the settlement scalability, and especially the kind of atomic settlement in a DVP. And why it is possible is, I think, is a super innovative thing is to bring the securities on a ledger, and then the cash, like a stable coin, on the same ledger, and then one, like a Solidity code, can atomically swap between assets and cash at one block, which is impossible without blockchain. So all of these programmability, it really excites me, and it's some kind of overlap with my personal career. Actually, I spent 70 years, and then I moved to software engineering. I spent 5 years to become a software engineer, because I really believe that kind of engineering and finance really getting together can really innovate, in this field. So I think that will bring the breakthrough. So super excited in this space.
Good. The pairing is powerful, really powerful. Okay, we're going to start, Masa-san, with you next, all right? We all know that Japan is a little bit unique. And so this sector is global. But what I was curious to know from each and every one of them is what differentiates Japan in the use of real-world assets that are being tokenized. Masa-san, what do you think?
Yeah, from my point of view, Japan is taking a proper approach. Kind of for the legal framework is somewhat different from like a Western and Japan. Japan is more like Germany. How can I say in English? But the way U.S. does and then the way Japan does is somewhat different. Because in simply speaking, Japan is like a create rule first, and then let people to follow. But it actually avoids unnecessary, trial and error. But it's kind of sometimes it's a challenge for the innovators. But because of that, afterwards and after a while, then traditional players are confident to get into this space. So it's kind of starting slow, but actually accelerating right now. So what we see now is starting from real estate, and then when I talk to all of major players, they're already preparing for tokenizing equities, money market funds, and even kind of bonds, and even potentially government bonds, etc. It's a huge opportunity, but that is not possible only by the startups. We really wanted to involve really traditional mega players, but then in order to convince them, we need to have assurance, regulatory assurance, clarity. And then Japan took this initiative a couple of years ago, and what we actually see now is happening this year. So, yeah, super exciting.
Sure. Good side of it, Japan is the second largest mature capital markets, which is really important to us. So that's good. Now, turning that, it's an opportunity. Turning that into a tangible result, being that whether or not Japan can lead the global sort of trend in tokenization is a different question. I think my take is probably 50-50 at this point. Good side of it is that I see a lot of large institutions showing quite serious interest in doing something in tokenization. Many people actually realize that this is things to come as well. On the other hand, things are actually moving quite slowly. It's Japan thing that people decide something, but it's going to be implemented 3 years from now, which is probably too late. Also, the other side of having a good capital markets has sort of two sides to it. like other Asian market, because it has a smaller, capital markets, they may have an opportunity to leapfrog and go beyond Japan quickly as well. So we have a choice, and I think we should move forward, but it's probably 50-50, and it's my take.
Yes. So Japan already has a huge capital market. Yeah, that's right. And also, Japanese usually accepts the new trend very slowly. Yeah, that's true, I think. And yes, so maybe this is not a strong point. This is kind of a unique point, but I want to pay attention to the cultural aspect of Japanese. And Japan has preserved tons of intangible value, like in a traditional kind of culture space. So I think that was a quite unique thing that could have realized in few countries in the world. And yeah, I remember that the government expressed their stance to support Web3 first. They backed their logic with some context from local revitalization. And I think that is pretty much on the cultural side things. But they don't say like they want to preserve culture or they want to support culture, but I think that includes that message. So yeah, I think this is not this might be I don't know, I'm not sure it is a strong point, but it's a very unique point. And also Japanese has a very long history and huge know-hows on that area, and that was like a analog and real physical blockchain, so succeeding blood relations and succeeding techniques. So for now on, they have to face the they have to face the problem of also from those kind of categories. So yeah, we need the new technology to maintain our strengths, and that could be the unique perspective, I think.
That was a great answer. I want to talk about breakthroughs because we saw breakthrough with treasuries being tokenized. That's really been a very solid use case. We saw real estate. There was a lot of talk about real estate early on. And we see bonds now coming on. But I want to talk about what do you think the next big breakthrough for tokenization will be? What are we going to tokenize that we maybe haven't even thought about yet? Because there's so many opportunities, but where is that killer use case for the actual asset? I'm looking, what is the next breakthrough? Masa-san, what do you think?
Okay, yeah. From our point of view, we're more like an infrastructure and helping finance institutions to mobilize their like real-world assets and stablecoin. And the breakthrough I'm expecting is also like with a really optimistic viewpoint, and which is the tokenized repo market. And I think this is a huge potential for JGB tokenized repo and the US Treasury repo market. What excites finance institutions most about why it matters is making the overnight repo into intraday repo market. This is a huge bottleneck because currently the shortest duration of the repo is 1 day. Even they borrow 1 hour, they have to pay 1 day interest rates. But now the programmable RWA repo is making this really the literally 1 hour interest rate payment. It's dramatically reduced. Not only reducing, but also it affects the balance sheet management because the day operates on a end of day basis snapshot. But when you borrow in the morning and then return afternoon, then nothing happens. It's like essentially the what is that? It's well, it doesn't have affect anything on the balance sheet. So it gives more flexibility to manage the cash and also reduce the like cash buffer to make the capital more efficient. So from the capital management perspective, it has a huge impact on the banking side. It might be not visible on the retail side, but actually have a magnitude of impact on the traditional finance space.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good point. Maybe from our viewpoint, probably the next thing to come is equity, common stock maybe. I mean, if you own Japanese equity, you get lots of benefits, like get this package every year, coupons and stuff like that. Now, when equity goes into the blockchain, it's a single record on the blockchain, and it's rewritten pretty much all the time and updated really up to now. So shareholder list, in fact, does not have to be updated. It's automatically updated. Right now, it's updated once or twice a year. So the company don't need to send out these paper stuff, but they can really do everything on the electronic basis. They can even pay dividend on a daily basis because they know who the shareholder is right now. So that really saves a lot of money, and that really saves a lot of effort and gives very good utility for the company as well from the corporate standpoint. Now, from user standpoint, when you put your token into your wallet, like this one as well, you can prove you're a shareholder at any time. And when you buy equity yesterday, you can prove you're a shareholder yesterday. You don't have to wait for someone. You don't have to get someone's validation or anything. So if you buy a share of let's say 7-Eleven, and 7-Eleven decides to do a sort of campaign for a shareholder, decides today and starting tomorrow, you can actually prove you're a shareholder at the 7-Eleven shop and prove that you can get the discount. And that really can be done instantly without really no money. So equity tokenization brings a lot of benefits to the company and also the users or shareholder as well. And in fact, after the Treasury started 2 years ago, starting mid of last year, there are a lot of talks about equity tokenization in the US as well. And we are started to talk about that in Japan too. So that's, I believe it's going to be something to come next.
Yes. Yeah, I also think equity is because, from the perspective of, bringing some on-chain liquidity to the traditional financial asset, I think this impact is mostly from the securities companies, perspective, mostly on the, wealthy business owners who has many, assets locked in their account because of some, for example, the shares of their own companies, they can't move it easily and they have to lock it for a while. But they want to liquidate it in some way. So I think if we could make impact on that kind of asset, we could contribute to increase the efficiency of capital for our clients. So that could be that should be a very attractive area. But for the matter of speed, I think these guys already have great use cases because Securities have a DS token, the oil of finance use case, and Masa-san has also DGFT use case with the DGFT. And I think private assets could be be realized in this scheme in a very fast manner. So for a big breakthrough, equity is. But for making a timely impact, I think we have to make some challenges in the private asset sector.
I like the 7-Eleven equity on demand provability. Yes, that was a good use case. I hope that's coming. I'm going to take us to the last question. And this is really one that has AI woven into it, because we have AI really becoming such an integral part of this space. It was almost like blockchain was made for the AI use cases. So I don't doubt we're going to see AI in the way that it's maybe designed, issued, managed, and traded. I'm thinking we're going to see that. This is just my guess, but I want to hear from the experts here on stage. What do you think that AI is going to do in terms of the real world assets and these security tokens? Masa, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think AI can dramatically improve the efficiency for compliance and monitoring and happen in real time. And the AI power is massively over the human's power. So, and then yeah, it reminds me of the days of the when we started using the internet and email. You remember that we have a lot of spam and scams, and it's similar to what we experienced during the DeFi and retail DeFi. We experienced a lot of scams and something happened. And then after that, spam filter happened, and then Google helped a lot to reduce that unnecessary noises, and then so that we have more confidence to use email. And nowadays, we still use email very comfortably. And in the same way, AI might work as kind of a filter or like a guard of each financial transaction. You can comfortably do transaction over internet or machine to machine. So it might also drive the AI agentic commerce. So currently you might not be 100% sure about AI agent to execute $1 million worth of that deal, but after a while, maybe AI is really competent in compliance, then we might let agent to transact and really becoming the economic actor. So I think this is great use case for AI.
Yeah, it's definitely things to come, and Securitize has started to take steps toward that. One of the things that challenges were that when you do the DeFi transactions, that it's sort of assumed that it's not AI, but you need to sort of be sure that when an AI agentic operator comes into the trying to do DeFi transactions, that you have to sort of check that if that is safe or honest and capable as well. ERC 8004 is exactly for that, and Securitize has actually started to integrate that, and also X402 payment architecture to enable the AI agent to be a part of the transactions. So it's probably going to be a long way to go, but we have taken steps. It's definitely something to come. And it's pretty exciting that these agents actually doing transactions for us.
Yes. So yeah, I think AI could change everything in the financial market, because AI could contribute to smoothen the financial scheme also, but AI could make a new asset there also. So yeah, change everything. And that is why we created a new incubation program called Happo-en. We've launched yesterday. Yeah, to make AI skilled people move more into the DeFi space. This is the concept of that incubation, and we started yesterday. And yeah, and the motivation from the securities company, I think we are a connector of between investor and the market originally in the traditional capital market, and we think we have the same role also in the Web3 space, because as long as there is a asymmetry information problem between investors and market, but that problem arises as long as human beings are playing in the market. So I think we have to challenge to the space that human beings will might disappear, then we will lose our role there. So that's the end of our role, but we have to challenge to that goal and get a big, business chance from there. And I think that relates to the matter of evolution theory.
Much, everyone. That was just wonderful. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And I want to give a big round of applause to the panel. Thank you so much.
ありがとうございました。Thank you very much, all of you.